And I've got a lot of experience with my nieces, my son here, and family friends getting babies to close their eyes and take a nap. So I just want to walk through all of these with you. Now there's all the other stuff on swaddling and swaying, and all that stuff is great. And this is just a couple little added tricks that you can do. So let's just get started and see how many times I get spit up on during the recording of this video. Okay, so the first one we're just going to call eye fixation and eye fatigue. Now this comes from the most old school hypnosis stuff ever, which is of course the pocket watch, right? And the reason for the pocket watch and the spirals and all those things is not because they're magic, but just because your eyes get tired. And fatiguing your eyes makes you want to close them. Now your eyes want to move around all over the place and check out the environment. And if we can get your eyes to focus on one thing, it makes them tired, especially if that one thing is above the horizon line of your eyes. So if we can get the baby to look just above the, the horizontal of their eyes, they're going to do really well. So he's fixated on something. We drop his butt, and that changes his eyes. All right? So he's looking down or straight ahead, and you drop his butt. His eyes have to look up a little bit. Now this is not a contest of how high you can make them look. If they look up too high, it's uncomfortable, they move their head. So what you want to look for is about 15 degrees right above horizontal. And then, see, just like this, you get them just looking at that light fixture there. And there we go. See, he's already gone down. Now applying this to other things, you've got your little mobiles here and that you put in above your son or daughter's crib. Don't put the whole thing even with the middle of their face like most people do, right? Put it so they have to look up just a little bit, and that's going to make them close their eyes back down and go back to sleep, right? So if you put this thing, put the middle of it just like at the top of their head, it's going to make them look up a little bit. It's going to make them go back down much easier. That's a simple thing, and this one is going to be the base for all the other ones we're going to go through. So make sure you're getting comfortable, with a light fixture, a ceiling fan, an air conditioning vent, whatever it is. Get them to have something just a little bit above their horizon line that they can look at, and it's going to put them out. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. And he didn't like moving around, which is actually a good thing for us because I can show you the next one, which is the mesmeric hand pass. Now, mesmer, like mesmerize, yes, but also Franz Anton Mesmer, the guy who invented all this crap. So we're going to do something called the mesmeric hand. Just take it, he's a little drowsy, which is perfect, and then you just come over just like that. All right? And you just do it a couple times. Just like that. Hi. Yeah. See, just like this. Now a couple things on this. Number one, we're not going back and forth, right? You keep coming around and just keep going down. Just keep going down. Sometimes you can stroke, the side of their face here. You don't have to. Just going in front of them. Just like that. Just like that. And as you do it each time, you do it just a tiny bit slower each time, right? And especially if their eyes are already fatigued. Once your eyes are fatigued, opening them and closing them, you just want to keep them closed. So that's the mesmeric hand pass. Simple. Let's just move right along. We're already out just after number 1 and number 2, but number 3 is about equilibrium disorientation. All right. Now, equilibrium disorientation you see a lot of in rapid inductions, right? You see Shawn Michael Andrews, the world's fastest hypnotist, do a rapid induction, and then he kind of moves the guy's head around, right? You kind of move the person's head around, and that gives him a disorientation that is sort of like the rocking of a ship or the rocking of a cradle. Now, I'm not going to wiggle his head around because I'm not a psycho, but what we are going to do, we're going to hold him just like this, and I'm going to wiggle his butt, right? So I just wiggle his butt just like this, and that sends the little bit of just wiggling to his head, right? So his head's in the crook of my elbow, my other hand is under his butt, and I just wiggle. Now some of you have seen that video on the internet if you've been looking for that pediatrician who takes the crying baby, puts the baby's arms against his chest and then wiggles the baby's butt. And now when he does it, he does the baby face down. I do it with the baby face up. But I think that it's based on the same idea. I think that's a cool video. I'll put it in the show notes. And that's it. Just wiggle the baby's butt. That makes the head wiggle. And that makes him go just a little bit deeper. Now this next thing I want to demo is called the frequency following effect. Now, the idea of this is the same idea as when you tap your foot in beat with music. Now, hypnotists will know this from binaural beats and brainwave entrainment, but most of you don't know what I'm talking about. But you do know what I'm talking about when I say you tap your feet in beat to music. And so what we want to do is everything we do, right? Our swaying, our rocking, our butt wiggle, our shushing, our rubbing his fingers, anything that we do, we start a little bit faster, and we just slow it down over time. And we do it intentionally and methodically. So whether we're talking about the butt wiggle, the hand pass over his eyes, anything that we do, we start fast, and then we go slower and slower and slower. That's it. Really simple one. But when you stack that on top of the other ones, it works really well. Okay, so just a quick wrap up. Let's go over them. The idea, the first thing you need to do is get their eyes tired, right? So everything is predicated on getting their eyes tired. So you get them to look up just 15 degrees or so, have them hold that, and if you're gonna move it, don't move it up and down, move it left and right, just like a pocket watch, right? Just like that cliche. Have them move it left and right, just above the horizon, and if it can be still above the horizon, that's actually better. Once you get that and you can see their eyes start to get a little bit tired, you go to the hand pass, right? The mesmeric hand pass, just going like this, maybe touching them right here. You don't have to. If you're touching here, touch gently. Third thing, equilibrium disorientation, wiggle their butt, right? Just a little oscillation. And the fourth thing, the frequency following effect, right? You start a little bit faster and you slow down, slow down, slow down. Remember to put the mobile above their crib, above the horizon of their eyes, so that when they open their eyes, they look, they see the thing, it fatigues their eyes, and they want to go back to sleep. Right? Those are the basics. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Oh, see, we're spitting up a little bit. That's fun.